Files of the Strange and Exotic Star Trek book review. And I haven't done one of these in eons since I haven't picked up a Star Trek book to enjoy in a while. And this one I came across at the Will, and over my Trek life I've heard about it, and it's the novelization of Star Trek Voyager's pilot episode, Caretaker. Now, I came into Voyager Kes was still a character, but kind of near the end. Not quite sure how many seasons she was on, but I only kind of caught it sporadically. I'm more familiar with like the later end, like when 7 of 9 came on. That was sort of my era of Voyager. But I never got to see the pilot. And I always heard, oh, it's really good. And for some weird reason, I thought there was a caterpillar on my finger. Okay, eyeballs. So I heard it was a really good episode. So far, it's been a really good episode. And I've seen like snippets and things like that because they'd like refer to it back when they do like reviews of the show or whatever. And it comes with some pictures of the episode, and it's kind of funny having come into the series when everybody knows each other and the crew has been integrated, so it just seems kind of funny to have the meeting between Harry and Tom, and Harry being so like almost Chekhov like. There's that sort of cute innocence about him. Janeway's a badass as always. I loved the Doctor. The Doctor was always cool. I never could get to like B'Elanna. B'Elanna pretty much remained true. Chakotay was always kind of cool. Neelix I always liked. Tuvok is Tuvok. I never really quite got... I didn't have the experience with like the Kazon Ogla. I mean, I knew of them. They kind of mentioned them. They kind of sort of showed up once in a while. Kind of Klingon-ish there. So, as far as the story goes, it's again the pilot episode of Voyager where they're chasing after the Maquis. And they've always again mentioned the Maquis and that some of the crew were Maquis, but I never quite knew who was and who wasn't. And it's really violent in the beginning. So it kind of makes sense because Janeway's on the new flashy, sort of, great white shark type starship. It's like this, not the big heavy cruisers like Enterprise is. Voyager is more for like speed and that type of thing. So it was sort of the flashy kind of sports car, apparently, of the Federation fleet, pretty much designed to go after the Maquis, who I never quite understood why they were bad guys per se, but they really don't go into much detail as far as the Maquis end of the thing. But apparently, it's almost like the Tatooine of the Federation, where you have Federation people on a Federation planet, but they're kind of on the outskirts, and the Federation just sort of forgets about them after a while. And of course, they're kind of pissed. So they all kind of, they have no love for like Starfleet or the Federation, because the Federation stopped caring. So they kind of banded together and they go into something called the Badlands, which is like this giant sort of evil nebula type thing. That's where they find the Caretaker and the Array. And it of course doesn't necessarily resolve because you have your entire, how many seasons? 7? No. Did Voyager go on for 7 seasons? I don't know, but it was on for a while. So of course you had that whole time span of the show. And, they take Harry and B'Elanna, ironically, one from Maquis, one from the Federation. And you got to meet Kes and the Ocampans and Neelix and all that stuff. So it's neat to see how everybody kind of was introduced, even though there was a lot more I want explained, but I don't remember them actually explaining it in the show, because once Chakotay and the Maquis sort of become a part of Voyager, that's it. There's suddenly Federation, and then there's Tom's whole thing, which I think I did see the episode of kind of where his whole storyline is kind of clarified. And I mean, it's a good story. The show was awesome. My favorite episode is still, I think they called it Virus. And again, the Doctor goes down to a planet, and it's like this little bug that kind of beams up with him. And the bug grows and grows and grows until it's like this giant like octopus thing that like infects the crew and the ship and all that stuff. And Janeway's like the only one that's kind of left to do anything because everybody is sick. And the scene that just got me for that episode was she takes her phaser, sets it aside, picks up phaser rifle, and I'm like, that's a badass. So I love Janeway. I'm still a TOS Trekkie, so my heart will always belong to Kirk and Company. But this is a very good book, and probably an even better episode. Star Trek Voyager. More than any other television show, more than any other motion picture series, Star Trek has for nearly 30 years at this point, it's now been 50, as 2016 it's the 50th anniversary, has been the most popular space adventure of all time. Now Star Trek Voyager joins Star Trek Next Gen, Star Trek DS9 as the newest star in an ever-expanding universe. What came after that? It was Enterprise, and I think that was it. There was another series after that, was there? I don't think so. Pocket Books is proud to present the novelization of Caretaker, the premiere episode of Star Trek Voyager. And when you see it's 30 years, when the hell was that? That was like in the 90s. Oh my god, has it been that long? This is the story of Catherine Janeway and the crew of the Starship Voyager. Transported by the alien technology to the other side of the galaxy, years away from the Federation and everything they call home, the voyage back will be a fantastic odyssey that will take them through uncharted space into dangers as they travel where no one has gone before. 1995. Wow. And I think I have a book by L.A. Graff, who's the author, and I think she did Hidden Years, and what was the one that kind of went into like Kirk's background? I can see the cover, but I can't remember the title. Gosh, I can't believe this. This stops at like number 34 of Next Gen. 70. Yep, 73. This is like ancient. Doesn't tell me because I swear to God I was sitting back here. Recovery. I don't have. Nope. So, I don't know. Highly recommend this book. Liked the series. It was a very interesting concept when you kind of didn't have the Federation, you couldn't call back to like, you know, Starfleet Command. You were sort of, it was almost like Swiss Family Robinson-ish. So, I liked Voyager. But I never got to see like the entire series, so I got like pieces of it. I liked it better than the DS9. That was kind of like, oh well. So, thank you for watching. Do remember to comment, rate, share, and subscribe. And tell me what your favorite series is, and what episodes you liked. There's always room for one more at the Strange and Exotic. See you next time, and happy reading!